Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this next episode of StarCraft for Kids. I am the Kid, and I will be bringing you this game between this guy right here, spawning as the green Protoss. This is Titan, and over here on the bottom right of Shakuris Plateau, it is Acer Nerchio. And for those of you who don't know, both of these players aren't quite as well known in the professional circuit. They're both in the European ladder, and both of them in the top 16 of the European Grandmasters. So, incredibly good players. This is, I believe, a best of 5 series, and hopefully it goes all the way through. I'd love to see a long series for you guys. I haven't cast any games for a while. I'm actually currently working on making basically an intro video, spicing up my casts a little bit just to make them that much better for you guys. So hopefully I'll be able to bring you guys a lot more replays here in the next couple days. I'll get them posted as quickly as possible. And once again, I'm going to be bringing you guys pro replays all the time. So stay tuned to my channel. This is StarCraft for Kids, and let's go ahead and get into this game. This is on Shakuris Plateau. This is one of my favorite maps overall. I think of the maps, this is one of the more balanced overall. This one to me doesn't necessarily play to any individual race that much. It really has plus sides for all of the races for the most part. And look at this. Before we get into that, this is sort of a huck trick for those of you who don't know. This probe, by going onto these mineral patches, is forcing these drones onto other ones. And you'll notice he's using these two. That's because these two mineral patches are closer, and therefore they benefit the Zerg's income more. So it doesn't do a lot, but it gets really pesky. And for those of you who have watched Huck, he loves doing this. So as we go over to Titan's base, he is dropping a pylon in his main with the gateway right here, and getting a gateway before he really gets a forge or a nexus. And this pylon makes me think he's going to drop a nexus right here. He is saving his crystal, so we're going to see him drop a nexus right here, and he's going to go ahead and go down for his expo and get going on that as soon as possible. Now, he did drop it before Nerchio dropped his. Nerchio is going to need to put it down right here. But if Nerchio actually saw, which let's see if he did see the gateway. So he does know that for the most part he should be safe dropping down his hatchery as quickly as possible, although his lings are out, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, here we go. We're going to see him drop down his hatchery right here. And now this is actually pretty early gas. Now he could use this obviously to get speed for his lings. That's what I would imagine he would do first thing. But usually when you fast expand as a Zerg, you don't want to get gas this fast, because you want to be able to get that extra crystal out to take a third and also to drone up from your second. So you really need as much crystal as possible, and then you'll see them switch. So here we go. He's going to go ahead and take his drones off of gas. And let's see what the vision is for these two players. He does know that this is all going down right now. Even got an Overlord right here. This Overlord basically just spitting in the face of these Zealots. He's like, what are you guys going to do to me now, huh? You can't stop me from seeing everything. And at the same time, though, if we look at Titan really hasn't seen very much. He knows that this expansion's right here. He hasn't really checked out the third yet. And so, playing pretty blind for the most part. So let's go back to everyone's cam. And Nerchio getting gas back, and there we go, putting down a Baneling's nest already. And with him going gas right now, this makes me think he's going for some kind of bust. Getting a lot of Zerglings right now. And look at this, 14 more on the way. I think we're about to see a Baneling bust here, guys. And if you look at it, this entrance is very vulnerable to Banelings. Both of these pylons very soft to that. They've got only 50 more health than a supply depot. And, you know, these Zealots as well, very, very soft when it comes to Banelings. They're going to take a lot of damage from that. And look at this. Here we go. We've got the speedling. The speed is done. He's going to bring them right about here, morph in his Banelings, and we'll see what he does. Chances are he'll only get about 6 Banelings. Yep, let's see. Yep, 5 Banelings. And he'll go for one of these pylons. But the nice thing is, he has 2 places to attack, and 1 sentry is not going to be enough to defend from this. Now, he is throwing this Zealot out here to spy for this. Well, spy for something, but this is not going to be enough. This is going to be really, really hard for Titan to defend. He's going to need some perfect force fields if he wants to do this. One of the Banelings detonates, but pulling back beautifully, not losing any more Banelings than he needs to, morphing in 2 more, And look at this. Titan going to throw down 2 more gateways right here. But let's see if Nerchio goes for these Zealots. There's not enough energy here. And look at that. Beautiful. By this. Oh my gosh. That Baneling did so much damage. And this cannon needs to focus these other Banelings down. And boom! Wow. I think I just cried a little bit for our Protoss player. This doorway needs to be blocked off. This is bad news for Titan. Thankfully, he did finish Warp Gate. That is huge for him. He has to get that. If I were him, I would cancel these 2 gateways. This is 300 minerals he could use for Zealots to really defend against these Zerglings. This is really, really hard to watch. I don't really know how he's going to recover from this. Throwing down another pylon right here, getting some more sentries. He can basically wall this ramp off indefinitely with these sentries. But look at this. I really feel that he should have canceled these gateways. This is just too many minerals to lose at this point. And look at this. Doing a good job at throwing down the force field just enough that he lets a couple of the Lings in, but not enough that they can actually do any real damage. And look at this. All his tech just getting shredded. And, oh no, allowing the surround here and losing a couple sentries. 2 go down. Is a third? A third does not go down. Nerchio should have tried to get that down, but it's not going to happen. He has done a significant amount of damage, though. Look at this. The Protoss player has lost almost twice as much as the Zerg player. That is just awful for him. Zerg can afford to throw away a couple units here and there, but Protoss units you got to be so much more careful with. And these Zerglings just being so obnoxious in the main, getting probes wherever they can. And now, you know, it's definitely up to the Protoss player to respond to this. He's sending some sentries, probably throw down a pylon here and try and put on some pressure, but look at this. Nerchio's just not going to have any of it. He's throwing down 4 spine crawlers. He's got these 2 banelings. These banelings are going to be able to do a ton of damage when they hatch. And taking out one of those sentries and possibly a third. Oh, I just feel so bad for Titan right now. Without those sentries, he is going to be in a lot of trouble. And Nerchio just having his way with Titan right now. Titan kind of choking on a lot of his micro. Really throwing those sentries away is something he can't afford to do. And look at this, going straight for a run by. He's going to be able to go straight into the base. These 2 sentries will be able to hold him off for a while, but with all these spine crawlers, I do not think there's anything that Titan can do about this base. He's basically going to have to get back, try and wall this off as best he can. And look at this, even throwing 2 banelings in the main of the Protoss, but Titan's going to catch this is pretty quick and be able to shut that down and takes out those Lings without any problem, and he's even going to pull back right now. But, you know, with all the losses that he's taken right now, I really don't feel like Titan can come back from this. He is heavily behind. The Zerg player's on 47 Harvesters to 24 by the Protoss. And even right now, Nerchio is throwing down his Spire. This is going to be the nail in the coffin for the Protoss player. He doesn't have Blink. He doesn't even have the... He really only has Stalkers as anti-air. He doesn't even have a Forge to throw down cannons. He doesn't have a Twilight Council to start Blink. Once these mutas move in, there is just nothing that he can really do about them. Because if he pulls his Stalkers back, that's just going to leave an opening for Nerchio to come in with Lings, possibly do a sweep around with his mutas and come over here. There's just really, this is a bad spot for Titan right now. Nerchio going to go ahead, take his third, feeling very confident with his placement right now. Trying to get these overlords in positions where he might be able to spot for any possible drops, things like that. With this Robo, we'll see what he throws out right here. And he's going to try and push again. He's going to see what he can do, poke and prod a little bit, see if there's any damage to be done. We do have a Warp Prism coming out. It's very possible that what he'll do is he'll pop up on this ledge right here, block off this ramp, and try and do as much damage to the main as possible. But we do have the mutas out, a very modest number of them. I think there were 6 in production. We got 5 right here, and I thought there was one more, possibly not. And look at this, these mutas are just going to do whatever they want to this mineral line, and just a ton of damage. And look at this, Titan can really only afford to bring 1 Stalker down to help. If we look over here right now, this is a good play by Titan. He's just got to get an edge wherever he can, bringing 3 Zealots right here to try and take out this this hatchery. He needs to do whatever he can to stay in this game. However, if we look at the income, he is down to a paltry 17 harvesters, and that is going down quick. He has got to do some kind of push right now. And here we go, just like I said earlier, Warp Prism going to the high ground. He's going to warp him in, and he needs to get beautifully played, but units did sort of squeeze in right there. And, oh, he's got to be more careful with these sentries. These sentries are so valuable to him, and he is letting them just get abused so badly. And the surround of these drones might actually be enough to completely counter this attack. I really don't see Titan coming back from this. These mutas coming back from the main base. They want to get their fun here, and look at all these banelings. Basically, this is Nerchio saying, I don't care what you send up this ramp. I know I can do enough damage to take all of it out. And there's the GG by Titan. A really impressive game by Nerchio. I really haven't seen very many Baneling busts against Protoss. Usually when there's a wall in like that, you'll see fast roach aggression if you're going for that early attack. Sometimes you'll try for Zergling run-bys, but I really like him using those Banelings to really take advantage of the weak pylons and also the Zealot wall-in. So Zerg players, start using this. This is a great strategy to use. He was able to expand off it and really macro behind it, and he always kept the Protoss player on the back foot. So I hope you guys like this. Once again, this is only the first game. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep them coming. I'll keep these pro games satisfying you guys all the time, and I'll see you guys at game number 2.